Hey babes, it's Sharonda Isadora and welcome to Brazen Babe Reviews. And during this recap, I'll be talking about a movie called True to the Game, which is currently streaming on Netflix. This movie is about an hour and 48 minutes and it was made in September of 2017. This movie was actually based off a book that was written. The book was written originally in 1994, I believe, by Teri Woods. So what you have in the movie is these two characters. Your two main protagonists are Quadir and Gina. Quadir is a big time drug dealer, almost on like kingpin level, and Gina is in the movie a young college student. The only differences from between the book and the movie is that in the book, I don't believe Gina ever was in college. It's been a while. It's been a while since I read the book, so I don't remember the details. But I don't believe she was a college student in the book itself. But in the movie, she is. There were some differences between the movie and the book, which is like, and I know the movie itself is based off of the screenplay. Sometimes the movies get it right, sometimes they don't, and I know when they go by these screenplays, the screenplays are a little bit different than the actual movie. So you have different scenes, different things, stuff like that. So I'll just talk in reference to the movie itself. I may throw some similarities from the book and what was different between the book and the movie. But in general, I'll be talking more about the movie itself. So from the movie, you have Quadir and Gina. They meet up and at this club or whatever. Gina is kind of like standoffish with Quadir. She knows his type. I don't think at that point in time she knew he was a drug dealer, but I guess he kind of like gave off those I won't say like drug dealer vibes, because what are drug dealer vibes, right? So but I guess he gave off like kind of like hood boy type of vibes or whatever, even though he was dressed fresh to death. He was in a suit and tie and all the other thing, but she just didn't get good vibes from him. And she basically tells him that when they meet at the club, like she pretty much tells him like, I know you're tight and I'm not interested. So he pretty much has to chase her down in the movie to get her to like go out with him or whatever. He really does pursue her in the movie, and they do end up being together or getting together and being together. When she goes into it, she does find out that he is a drug dealer, but he tells her that he is getting out of the game. He's going to stop. He's going to what most times most drug dealers may say, they just need to get to a certain amount of money in their life and they're just going to stop or whatever. This is what Quadir sells to Gina, and she falls for it. From the movie itself, I don't think Quadir ever had any intentions of leaving the game or the life or whatever you want to call it. I think he had every intention of staying in it. He just wanted to keep it away from Gina because he knew that she wasn't the type of woman to be with somebody, a drug dealer or anything like that. But I also think Gina, once she got involved with Quadir and they started going out, dating, eventually moving in together, and stuff like that. He's buying her like expensive cars and taking her on expensive trips, stuff that she wasn't able to do before, because she does come from a poor family. Her grandmother is actually raising herself and her sister. So Quadia was able to afford her the life that she definitely was not used to. So also think that Jeannie, even though she didn't want to technically be involved with the drug dealer type, because Quadia was showing her this lifestyle, she, along with her falling in love with him, she fell in love with that lifestyle. She got used to that lifestyle. So I don't think she ever wanted, I don't think she wanted to leave it. And I think, like, even through some points in the movie, she turned a blind eye, to what he was doing, because of these things, of these, luxurious things that he was able to afford to her, or for her. So, in the movie, we just don't have Gina and Quadia getting together and being together, or, the dynamics of their relationship. Him, dealing with her and how she is, and her dealing with him and his lifestyle and stuff like that. We also have it where Quadia also has rivalries. He does eventually come up against this rival gang that wants what he has, and this brings on a lot of bloodshed and shootings and things like that. So for the movie itself, I don't know. I wasn't really feeling the movie. I initially caught it on Netflix like a couple of months ago, and I started watching it, and I kind of like fell off of it because I just wasn't into the acting. Columbus Short is playing Quadia, and Erica Peoples, I believe that is her name, she plays Gina. And we also have, God rest his soul, Neeson Elson. He was in the movie as well, and he played one of the dudes that was in Quadia's squad. So we do have like two well-known actors that are in the movie, and I can't complain about their acting. Their acting was good. I mean, given the screenplay in the in the movie, in the movie that they were given, they played their perspective roles. The woman that played Gina, I didn't care for her acting. I thought her acting was a little off, especially on the scenes where she was supposed to be mourning and crying and stuff. It just looked so fake and so unreal. So I didn't care for her acting at all. Most of the actors in the movie, I did not care for their acting. I thought their acting just wasn't up to par. But again, given the screenplay and what they were, what they were given to work with, I guess they had to just go with the flow. One of the things that I did not like in the book itself, Gina did have a best friend. She had a best friend in the movie. Just, you always have like this, the good girl, as it likes to be called, like in Black life, or you have the good girl, and then you have the ratchet girl. You have the college educated girl, good girl, or the girl that's working her way through college and stuff like that, and then she always has a ratchet best friend. So we had that in True to the Game. But the difference between that and the book, Gina did have two best friends. They were actually twins, sisters. Was not in the movie. And the other thing, I like this version of Gina in the movie. I like that they made her more aware. You know what I mean? Because in the book, she was just young girl, got caught up with Quadia and his lifestyle, and she was just like, she was young, she was foolish, she was just doing a whole lot of foolish shit in the book. The movie, like I said, I like that they made her a little bit more mature. But in the book itself, Gina was ratchet. She was ratchet as fuck. in the movie. So I mean, in the book, in the movie, I see that they made those differences between her and I think maybe they did that in the movie because it would be more of a commercial appeal, to get people out to watch the movie or whatever. Whereas this book came out in 1994, and Teri Woods, she has to be like, in my opinion, like the queen of street literature, because when this book first came out in 1994, it went off, like a shot. Like people just got the book, and it became very, very popular in hood literature. I mean, I don't know. I don't. Nobody can tell me that if you read street literature or hood books, then you cannot tell me that you did not read True to the Game, because Teri Woods is really one of the authors that kind of like started like this whole street hood literature off with this book. There are two other books in the series. I only read the first book. I didn't read True to the Game 2 and 3. I know my cousin may have, and she may still have them damn books, because we do share that kind of like, taste in books, as far as like hood literature and street books and stuff like that. So she may have the two books, but I only read book one. And I remember reading this book when it first came out, or maybe like a couple of months when it first came out. And for me reading that book at that time, I was just kind of like blown away at the story, because nobody was telling what was going on like in the hood, urban areas and stuff like that. Like nobody was telling you that we had these drug dealers, out here, doing the things that Quadir was doing, in the book and in the movie. So, there are some differences between that or whatever. But I mean, for the most part, I did enjoy the movie. I really think the acting could have been like a whole lot better, or whatever. And like I said, you probably had like these two mainstream actors in the movie to give it more of a commercial appeal. But the story also kind of fell flat to me, and that may have had something to do with the acting as well. Especially since I started watching it, then I stopped watching it, and then I just finished it over this Thanksgiving holiday break or whatever. But the plot, the plot to the movie itself, it really didn't give me anything. We have the synopsis of the movie. We have this girl, that meets this drug dealer, and she gets caught up in the lifestyle. But the surroundings around what was going on, it just it just didn't come together for me or whatever. So, I think they could have done a little bit better. But I do know for the most part, just like Miss Woods had a hard time getting this book out initially, when it was initially released, in 1994 or whatever. I know I did read, a while back that she was trying to like shop the movie around. And I guess she finally succeeded. But the screenplay, like I said, just kind of like fell off for me. I wish it would have been, honestly, I really wish it would have been more closer to the book far as the storyline, because I think if you would have kept the original people from the book, even if you changed the story of the movie a little bit, I think it would have did better, once it was released in theaters. And I think this movie had a limited release, so I'm not quite sure how it did financially. But, just from I don't know. It probably didn't do that good in the movies or whatever. But it just like the plot to me, the plot was kind of like a little bit all over the place. And yeah. I just wasn't a fan of the movie itself. So in my opinion, if you want to get the gist of this book, go buy it off of Amazon and read the book. The movie might just be a guilty pleasure But yeah, it just didn't make any sense to me. So I'm gonna have to tell people to just pass on watching this, even for like the streaming or whatever. But you know, everybody's different. What I may have not enjoyed as much, you may. So again, it's streaming on Netflix, and if you want to catch it, catch it. And that's it for me, guys. Until the next one, later days. Bye. Hey guys, so a couple of follow-ups. Throughout this recap, I incorrectly stated that this book was originally published in 1994. That is not true, and excuse my false pause. This book was published in 1999. Two, in me searching for when this book was originally published, also saw that there will be a part 2 to the movie, and I don't know about that, guys, but I guess that Miss Woods has like her own fan base, as she should, because the book is really, really good. Like, the book itself is good if you're into that kind of reading. Like I said, it's street literature, hood literature. So but I guess she had enough of her fan base come out and support this movie, and we're going to be getting a part 2. I don't know how the second movie is going to be released. Maybe straight to streaming, maybe straight to TV, TV cable, something like that. I don't know, but based on whoever did this first movie, I don't think they should not be touching this second movie, in my humble little opinion. So yeah. And lastly, as you can see from the cover of the movie, Vivica Fox is also in here, and I forgot to mention that throughout my recap. But honestly, guys, she's probably like in the first 15-20 minutes of this movie. After that, you're not going to see her anymore. Again, I figure, or in my opinion, that she was brought in as maybe to give this movie more of a mainstream commercial feel to it. She plays Quadir's, the aunt, the hood aunt, that's down for everything and anything. That's just Vivica, in my opinion. No disrespect towards Vivica herself, but she plays those roles, and she plays them good. She plays them well. So but her throughout the rest of this movie, you are not going to see her after those 15-20 minutes. So that's another thing. So if you're going inside of this movie, then you're going to see Vivica acting throughout it. No, 15-20 minutes, and that is it. That is all. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. Until the next one. Bye.